Just a few days before the presentation of the new 2022 cars, we would like to summarize the evolution that the power unit, the engine, has undergone since its introduction in 2014. Since 2014, the rules and the way to develop the power unit has been completely changed. Before, the game of the motorist of Formula One was to put as much air as possible in the engine, to then put as much fuel as possible, and this amount of fuel that you would put in the engine would allow to gain power and gain every year some more power, and the rest was done on that. In 2014, the FIA made us the proposal to the manufacturer to change the game, and they decided, okay, now guys, we are going to change completely the figure. We are going to impose the amount of fuel that is going into the engine, and your job will be to do the best use of this fuel, to burn as much as possible this fuel with a very high efficiency, and then the rest will be on technologies that are related to what we want for the future of automotive. Less CO2 emissions, more power with less gasoline. But we did not only that in Formula One. We also decided that the power unit that you would use would have a technology that was not yet on road car. And so it has been decided to try to use the best technology for the combustion, injection, compression ratio, all the traditional technology of engine people, to add a turbo engine. At this time, the turbo engine were coming back on the road car. And also, it was decided to try to recover the lost energy. When you have combustion, a lot of the energy is not used to power the car. It is going into the exhaust. You have to cool with radiator. And so, what was decided was to put technologies that would recover part of this energy. After some studies, we realized that the best way to recover energy was to recover the energy that is lost in the exhaust of the cars. What has been added to recover this energy was a small motor that is hooked to the turbo that can allow to recover the extra energy that then would go directly in the air. In that case, we use the energy that is in the exhaust gas to power the turbo, recover this energy, and use it later on with another motor to give more power to the car. Plus, we have the traditional recovery of braking energy. Every time the car is braking, you are also dissipating energy through heat in the brakes. In that case, you can also brake the car with an electrical motor, recover this energy. All this energy is going in the battery. And then after that, the game is to recover as much energy as possible and to then use it later on to push the car and have a complementary power to the engine. The combustion engine started with performance that were close to road car engine, but then the engineers of Formula One have realized that using a good gasoline, developed with our gasoline partners, we could also improve a lot the power, increase the compression ratio, and have a much better efficiency. And over 10 years, we have finished by having very high level of efficiency of burning the gasoline from the engine. But this progress of efficiency, they have also been accompanied by progress for all the other parts of the power unit. The turbo also started from performance of road car turbo, but we have been able now to develop compressor and turbines that can recover almost all the energy that there is in the exhaust. The turbines have now efficiencies that are 90%, which means that almost all the heat that you would lose in the exhaust is recovered, put in the battery, and then used to power the car and give more performance on the lap. In the same way, all the electric system improved over the years, and now we have extremely efficient motor and power electronics that are controlling the motors, and we lose only 1 to 2% of the energy when we put it through the motors. Batteries also technology has extremely strong evolution in 10 years, and now we have systems that are extremely efficient. That means when you put energy in the battery and you take it away, you are losing very small amount of this energy, maybe 10%. And so this lets you give more power to the traction motor and then make the car faster. So where are we now and where do we go? What we have seen after 8 years of development of this new power unit is that the efficiency out of the gasoline, meaning the energy you can recover when you burn the gasoline, when you recover it, has gone from 30%, the number we had in 2013, to now more than 50%. So it's a tremendous improvement because this type of efficiency you can very rarely find it in combustion process, maybe in some static combustion devices, but not on cars. What will be the evolution of this? With the FIA and all the manufacturers, we have decided to continue this route toward a more sustainable technology in Formula One. And what we try to do now is to increase the electric power, all the recovery sources that we can have as compared to the amount of gasoline. So in the future, in Formula One, we will keep this game of having less gasoline and trying to extract as much power as we can, as much energy, and we will increase the possibility of having electric power to reach numbers like 50% of energy from the engine and 50% of energy from the hybrid system, the electric system that will be in phase with the technology development we have with road car.
I'm wondering what you're gonna ask me today. Don't start with how was your race, because I throw my microphone away and I started riding a bike because my brother Luca is 6 years older than me. He was already racing a bike. I just grew up into his life, you know. My parents decided to buy a PV50. Their intention was not to put me on immediately, but as soon as I saw it, I started to cry because I wanted to try. From that day, I started immediately without training wheels. During the weekend, we were going racing with my brother. I was just riding around the paddock the whole day and coming back to the camper only when I had an empty fuel tank. When I was 15, at my very first year in the World Championship, I got the chance to race for Yamaha in a satellite team.
Picking her lines nice and easily with Chiara Fontanesi.
My dad at the beginning, he was not very sure because he didn't want to put me in the hands of somebody else, and he also was not sure if he wanted me to ride the World Championship. I said we have to take this opportunity, and luckily we did. That year I won my very first moto with a 125 in Europe, and since then we saw that I had the possibility to, one day fight for the World Championship. After the first year, we decided to do it on our own. We built our own team, kept going with the MX Fonte Racing team since then to now. A big reason of why I could achieve so much during the years is because I always had a great team. my family. My dad knows perfectly how to put the bike in terms of suspension, and my brother always did the electronic. He always been a rider and he know what I need. Everything was managed by us and everything was going around me, my races and my results. My family is my first supporter and they walk with me in the same direction. I mean, I trust them 100%. My very first championship win has been taken in England. For sure, it's something that will last forever in my heart. Already one was already something great, and to win 4 in a row was incredible.
A 4-time world champion, Chiara Fontanesi, and Yamaha world champions again.
A girl to succeed in motocross need a really strong mind, be talented, and of course need to have a physical condition which is very good. I think my strength point as a racer is my head. Like, I'm mentally really strong. When you're really tired and you still have to push because you need to be on a certain time or a certain repetition, it's there where your mind needs to come out and say you can do it, you know. I think also I'm a talented girl because when I was a kid I never really was training and I was still winning, and I just learned how to make a good corner or how to, you know, wait for scrub or keep the bike low in the jumps. And if you are able to do that without nobody telling you, it's because you have your talent inside yourself. Nobody ever teach me riding a bike, no one. It's something that I think I have in my blood. The reason why I came back after the 6th time I won, it's because I only had one dream left, which was to win a title being a mom. For sure, I want to prove myself that even after a pregnancy, I can still be the fastest and still be at the top and fighting for the World Championship. So as soon as I could, 1 month after I gave birth, I was back on the bike.
Only 12 points separate the top 4 riders, Duncan Papameyer, Fontanesi and Van der Ven.
And I was still fast, you know, I mean, I needed time to be back at my level, but it means that I was ready to participate. And I was training almost every day. I was lining up behind the gate in Matterley Basin 2020, only 3 months after I gave birth. And that for me was already a big achievement because my mind always wanted to be back, but you never know until you get there.
3rd overall this weekend, the KTM of Chiara Fontanesi.
And when I could finish on the podium already at the first round, it was just really amazing for me and something that I was just like speechless. The season this year is going very well. I've been very consistent apart the first round where I had a bad luck and I lost a lot of points, but for the rest I've been on the podium every round. I won 3 of 4 motos in Turkey, which was very good. 4 motos, very intense. The all 4 finished almost the same, you know, apart the first one. I think that has been one of the greatest battles I've had. That was a proof to myself and to my family that if I say something, I can reach it. We don't prepare strategies before the season, especially in these couple years, you know, with the COVID situation. You never know when you're gonna race, if the race is going to stay there, so difficult to make plans. What I do, and it's what I always did, it's to focus each motos in what I have to do. So step by step, not thinking on the final result, not thinking on I have to do that instead of that.
Just keep moving forward, forward and faster, faster, stronger, stronger. Just keep flying further, further and wiser, wiser, higher, higher. Take the limits up.
The way you train has changed. Before it was more about riding and racing. Now I wouldn't be so good if I would just ride a bike and not training physically. There's no specific area where you train, it's just about whole body because on the bike you move everything, like really everything. So it's important to be fit enough to try to avoid the injuries. When I started, which is not ages and ages ago, but the bike has changed a lot and we have ECU, traction control, things like that, that you can work so much on that. And when I started, I didn't have all that. So everything is developing year by year. So then you need to be always at the same level. Inside myself, I always want to be the best in everything I do, and I give everything I have. If you want to become a world champion, you need to work hard. I wish that I could have had the possibility to have somebody like me back in the days telling me how I should train, what I should do. That's why we decided to give the opportunity to the others, exactly what I didn't have when I was younger. This is basically why we opened the KFA. Everything that I do, how I became a champion, how I kept being a champion, how I could take a year off, have a baby, come back, work hard and be back at the top has something to do with the academy, because our academy is based on our experience. This is what we want to give to the young people that comes to train, to be able to teach them that you need to want it in your mind, you need to work hard, be consistent. And what I did, coming back, you are more trusted if you have a story to tell and to prove than if you have never did something in your life. I think this is really a big part of our trust in the academy. My parents, they thought that I would stop one day because I'm a girl, and they said, okay, she will be interested in something else, but in the end now, I'm still here racing, and basically all the families involved in the team, probably something that nobody would have ever thought. I feel like, wow, I'm 27, I won 6 times the World Championship. I had a baby and I'm still there at the top of the world. It means that I'm still able to do what I'm doing. Becoming a mom doesn't mean that you need to sit home and stop living.
Here we are, temperature 16 degrees, barely a cloud in the sky over the Dolomite Mountains. Most picturesque racetrack that we have in Europe, possibly. Starting on pole position, as she so often does. Fontanesi, upside down on the top of the hill. Has that pretty much decided the championship?
I already forget about what happened, because it's not something that you need to think about, because it's not that I've been doing mistakes. It's something that happened to me for no reason. I mean, like, I just was the unlucky girl on track. I cannot, stay still and focus on that, because it will take me nowhere. I was fast. I took the pole position at the last round again, so I know I can win. When you lose yourself. It's not the team that loses. And I think that's why individual sport makes you also stronger. This that happened this year made me stronger. It's not about winning. When you win, you don't get stronger. I was really happy to see all the family, friends and fans at the end of the podium. I wasn't expecting this at all. I mean, I was just with my daughter, going back to the van, and I was like, okay, now I need to get changed. It was the last race of the year. All of a sudden, I turned the corner and I saw all the people on the line waiting for me, and they even took me and made me jump in the air. There were many people that I didn't know that they were there cheering for me, and that was amazing. I was feeling like I won the championship. All of a sudden I was like, smiling and crying from joy, because I made people proud anyway. This is why I race. I race and I want to win for moments like this. They show me that even if I did not win, we could still live with moments like this. I'm so happy that I could give everything I had, because nothing more frustrating than ending a championship and knowing that you could have give more. I gave everything I had, and that's why I'm happy anyway. What happened this year was out of my control. It was not my year. What happened just made me stronger, but I will train and fight again, and I will be back.
The Jiralia is absolutely spectacular. It's got a slightly mystic feel to it.
To win the race, you need to be perfect in everything.
There's no compromise. You have to be focused all the time.
It is the most prestigious race, I think, in the Mediterranean.
Passion, tradition, and a respect for continuity. Values which have always typified the Rolex Jiralia. In mid-June, this famous fixture in Mediterranean sailing returns with its 3-day inshore series, followed by the renowned 241 nautical mile offshore race. For the first time in 3 years, the event, organised by the Yacht Club Italiano in collaboration with the Société Nautique de Saint-Tropez, will again see Saint-Tropez take centre stage. The picturesque town of France's Côte d'Azur is much loved by sailors, in part due to its rich nautical heritage. For nearly 70 years, the Rolex Jiralia offshore race has provided a platform for Corinthian sailors to test themselves against elite professional crews. Following the Saint-Tropez send-off, the fleet races to La Formique turning mark, and then to the iconic Jiralia Rock off the northern tip of Corsica, the undeniable symbol and alluring reference point for the entire race. From here, as fatigue often sets in, comes a testing leg to the finish off the illustrious port of Genoa. In recent years, around 200 diverse entries from over 20 nations have been attracted by the charms and challenges this race can offer. For the frontrunners, the race record of just under 15 hours set a decade ago will be an enticing target. The main prize of overall victory is decided on handicap, where preparation, teamwork, skill and dedication are fundamental to success. The 69th Rolex Jiralia offshore race commences on the 15th of June.
Durban is a thriving modern city in KwaZulu-Natal, home of the Zulu nation. Its people live a fast-paced 21st century life, yet many of them carry their traditions deep within them. I find that the traditional Zulu attire is so regal looking. just the colors and the vibrancy, just beautiful. I traveled out of Durban to discover the Zulu way of life. I didn't realize how close the city is to the beautiful rolling hills of Heartland. I was excited to find people still living according to a proud, passionate heritage, not just respecting the old ways, but celebrating tradition joyously. I found people with an amazing zest for life, flashes of color everywhere. I was swept up in the drama, the noise, the excitement of it all. I mean, every photographer lives for those moments. It's something I'll never forget.
August 28, 1963. Martin Luther King Jr. caps a major civil rights march in Washington with a speech for the ages at the Lincoln Memorial.
I have a dream that my 4 little children will one day live in a nation where they will not be judged by the color of their skin, but by the content of their character. I have a dream today.
1968. In Chicago, police and anti-Vietnam War protesters clash in the streets during the Democratic National Convention. Connecticut Senator Abraham Ribicoff condemns the police for the violence when he nominates a fellow senator for president.
And with George McGovern as President of the United States, we wouldn't have to have Gestapo tactics in the streets of Chicago.
But Vice President Hubert Humphrey is the nominee for the deeply divided Democrats. He narrowly loses to Republican Richard Nixon in the fall. 1955. Emmett Till, a black teenager from Chicago, is abducted from his uncle's home in Money, Mississippi. 2 white men seize Till after he supposedly whistled at a white woman. He's found brutally murdered days later. An all-white jury acquits the men of the crime. They later confess in a magazine interview. And 1996. In London, a royal split becomes final as Britain's Prince Charles and Princess Diana are granted a divorce. Diana is killed in a Paris car crash a year later. Charles marries longtime love Camilla Parker Bowles in the following decade. Today in history, August 28th. Ed Donahue, The Associated Press.
Welcome back in our studio, and in today's news,